Hey guys, what's up? Sack the Tron here from One Half Gazette, here with the next video, and this one I think is worth making. It's on should you bring 4 or 5 healers on a queen walk, and it's actually a little more complicated than you guys think, but I'm going to do my best to simplify it, keep it simple for you guys. This is just a random replay I'm showing. I'll get to some replays that demonstrate the specific examples I'm talking about in just a second. But first, as we watch this replay, I just want to go through in general what the rules are for bringing 4 healers, for bringing 5 healers. So right off the bat, the default for Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, and even Town Hall 11, which this video should all apply to in some sense, the default is bringing 4 healers. Any less typically isn't going to be a good idea unless it's a very small queen walk. Any more is just not worth it because of the reduced heal. So the default is going to be 4. The question becomes, when should I use 5 healers? Because that's the only number of healers besides 3 in some circumstances that's going to be that common. So it's not quite as simple as more damage, more healers, because we have rages, we have the ability, we have things for more damage. So it's kind of like, okay, well, if not more damage, when should I bring that 5th healer? And there's 2 circumstances in which you want to bring that 5th healer. I'm going to make this very simple. The first circumstance, and we'll look at examples in a moment, is when there's a lot of point defense, so much so that you can't just rage the healers. That won't be enough. And this is assuming you don't have the queen's ability either. That might seem kind of rare, but at Town Hall 11, if you're a Town Hall 10 doing a 2-star attempt on a Town Hall 11, for example, there can be a ton of max point defense, maybe 3, 4, sometimes even 5, plus CC troops, heroes. There can be instances where there's a ton of damage going at your queen. That's when that 5th healer is going to be necessary, especially if you're entering the base, and I'll get into that second one in just a second, which is more related to that. But when there's a ton of damage coming at your queen, doesn't apply to Town Hall 9s quite as much, but it can. In certain circumstances, you don't have the queen's ability, and there's a lot of damage coming. So just think about it. Oftentimes you do a queen walk at Town Hall 10 for a long queen walk, and we'll look at an example in a second. And that's going to be when you're going to want to do it on certain Town Hall 11 bases where your queen's taking a ton of damage, where 4 healers under rage won't do the job. You need that 5th raged healer to even keep her up. That's a lot of point damage, but it does happen. The second circumstance is the threat of a healer going down, which will make it so you only have 3 healers. That's when you want to bring 5 healers, so you only go down to 4 healers if a healer does go down. Now the healer will go down possibly because of a Seeking Air Mine, possibly because of an air defense. Either one's a possibility. But not only that, now if that's the case, you might want to bring the 5th healer. But even if that is the case, there could be circumstances where you only still want to bring 4 healers, because you have to look at the attack and say, if a healer goes down, how much in trouble am I? Is that a big deal? Sometimes the 3 healers won't matter. You'll have a rage anyway, or the queen will stop taking damage. She might meet up with your kill squad. So you have to think, is there a serious threat of a healer going down to a Seeking Air Mine or an air defense? And if that's the case, do I need to make sure that if that happens, I still have 4 healers for my queen? Is that going to make a difference having 3 versus 4 healers after one of them goes down? So let's take a look at a few replays that demonstrate these concepts. We're going to start down here. This is the war. Good job to Genesis, our first war since the 2-week ban. Off to a good start already. Good to be back. First, right off the bat, I just want to say, guys, I'm not showing any examples of just a regular Town Hall 9 queen walk around the outside of the base. You pretty much always want to bring 4 healers or less for that. I can't think of a circumstance where you want to bring a 5th healer. It's very difficult to say, okay, I don't have to bring the rage if I have a 5th healer, because the 5th healer will add just enough healing to keep the queen from going down without a rage. That's too hard to predict. You want to stick to this 2 circumstances I described, and when you're doing a Town Hall 9 queen walk around the outside of the base, those circumstances almost never apply. So that's not going to be an issue. So that's why I'm not showing any Town Hall 9 queen walks around the outside of the base, things like that. I just want to show some more examples. They're a little more complicated. This first one is a Town Hall 9 attack. It is a queen charge. So you might be thinking, okay, the first one doesn't apply. There's not going to be a ton of damage, so that to the point where the queen won't be able to stay up even under a rage, because he has the ability for the CC troops if there's a bunch of Valks in there. So he's pretty much covered on that. Now you might think he's entering the base. The second circumstance might apply where a Seeking Airmine might pop up and take out one of the healers. And that is true. But like I said, there's the exception. Doesn't matter if you have 3 healers. In this case, it doesn't matter if one of his healers goes down. And the reason for that is, 1, he has the ability and 2 rages. That is a lot of things to keep your queen up. It's not like there's going to be a lot of circumstances where it's just the healers healing the queen without any help from the rages. As you can see, a healer did go down to one of those Seeking Airmines. He is down to 3 healers, but despite that, as soon as that rage wears off, the queen's taking very little damage just from that cannon. As soon as that archer tower goes down, he doesn't need that 4th healer. So it works out fine. Now, had there been more point defense in the area, maybe a 5th healer would have applied. Because he's out of rages at this point, he has to depend, if he wants his queen to stay up, he has to depend on her not taking that much damage. But fortunately, that's the case. So this is an example of where you think the second circumstance might apply. You're entering the base, there's probably going to be a Seeking Airmine by that air defense. You might want to bring the 5th healer, so when a healer dies, you only go down to 4 healers. But the exception to that rule applies because it doesn't matter. As soon as he's dealt with the initial CC troops, the initial queen, all that initial damage where he had the ability in those 2 rages, then he's good to go. The queen doesn't need all that attention. And this also applies if the queen's meeting up with the kill squad. At that point, the damage is off her. You don't need to have the leftover 4 healers. 3 is fine if the queen's meeting up with the kill squad, because she'll no longer be on the front lines tanking. She'll be sitting back behind other troops that will be taking the damage for her. So that's another exception to the second rule. But like I said, there are certain circumstances where you want that 5th healer because you're suspecting a healer will go down to a Seeking Airmine or to an air defense if the angle doesn't add up that right. And you need those 4 healers for the remainder of the attack. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some other replays, starting with number 2 here. This is a Town Hall 10 attacking a Town Hall 11. So, sorry about that. So right away, you can start to infer, okay, there's going to be a lot of damage coming at the queen. There's all max point defense on this base, and the queen is doing a huge walk. She's charging very deep into the base. So in this case, both rules apply. First, there's going to be circumstances where there's 3, I think sometimes even 4, hope that doesn't keep coming up, sometimes even 4 point defense on the queen. And when there's that much point defense, you can't trust that 4 healers under rage will even keep her up, especially when she's moving around and they can't keep up with her that easily. Secondly, there's going to probably be Seeking Airmines inside the base, or even towards the outside, because Town Hall 11 sometimes put them there to take out baby dragons. And if you go down to 3 healers at Town Hall 11 especially, your queen is in some serious trouble. 3 healers is not nearly as effective. And so both the rules apply here. Definitely wants 5 healers. You're going to see how big this queen walk actually is. That jump spell is for the queen. Right there is an example of how an air defense might take out a healer, which is part of the second rule. It doesn't just have to be a Seeking Airmine that's the threat. If the angle's a little weird, the queen might not take out the air defense before it gets one of the healers, which is pretty much equivalent to a Seeking Airmine taking out a healer. Either way, you lose one of your healers. So those are the 2 ways the second rule applies. Anyway, though, the queen's going to kind of drift off to the side here. There goes the king and some bowlers. The attack just kind of goes from here. I've pretty much talked about everything that's relevant, so we'll go ahead and go ×2 just to speed it up. He actually does get the 2-star, so it's a kind of a weird attack, but the Valks clear out a path for the main group, which will go straight to that town hall after they swing through the wall there. The queen did stay up for a long period of time. Eventually she does go down, so it worked out fine. On these attacks, especially at Town Hall 10, when you're getting 2 stars on Town Hall 11s, you want to play it safe, better safe than sorry. If you're doing a huge queen walk, almost always want to have 5 healers, because the Town Hall 11 point defense is very damaging, and oftentimes you're doing a big enough queen walk that you're probably going to hit a Seeking Airmine or something at that point, or at some point in the attack. So one more attack to show as an example. Number 3 here, and I hope I don't get heat for showing this Town Hall 10 base that wasn't actually 3-starred. I know some people were mad about the Dark Looters War, which I think I did kind of screw up a little bit on, although there was quite a bit of angry people in the comments too. But anyway, I don't think this clan's going to care that much. They're not that serious of a war clan. And besides, this is a Town Hall 9 2-star attempt on a ring base. So this base has been exposed many times other than on my channel. So I think I should be safe to at least show this base. But getting to this attack here, you can see he's bringing the 5 healers. One thing to keep in mind, at Town Hall 9, if you're doing a 2-star on a Town Hall 10, which is, more common lately on these top Town Hall 10 bases, you have the luxury of having some troop space to spare, so sometimes better safe than sorry. Bring that 5th healer when in doubt. But also, you can see the Queen doesn't have any rages, actually. He uses the ability to take out the CC troops, and he uses both the rages on his main squad of Valks and stuff. So the Queen doesn't have any help really, which is why those 5 healers are helpful, because there's going to be a lot of times where there's 2-point defense on her. He wants the Queen to stay up to get percentage and work her way around the base. Now, unfortunately, that air defense doesn't go down, so all the healers are going to get shot down eventually because they'll come in range of it and the Queen can't target it. So the healers are kind of toast. But the principle still applies, right? There's a seeking air mine. Had that air defense not been in range, the Queen would have got more value. And because there's no rages, the 5th healer makes more of a difference here. It could be the difference between her going down and her staying up when there's going to be, sometimes 2 max point defense at Town Hall 10 on her. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of different factors at play, obviously, but I tried to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to recap it one more time for you guys who just want to get the overall message one more time at the end of this video as far as whether to bring 4 healers or 5 healers. Basically, the default is 4 healers. That's what you want to do in most circumstances. The exceptions, when you want to bring 5 healers, are if there's a ton of point defense that 4 healers under rage might not be able to take care of your Queen for, plus the ability isn't going to last long enough. If there's a sustained period of time beyond what the ability can cover, in which the Queen's going to be taking a ton of damage, typically from Town Hall 11 point defense, but sometimes at Town Hall 10 too, depending on how big the Queen walk is. The next circumstance is if there's a threat, an initial threat of a seeking air mine or an air defense angle that's going to take out one of your healers. And not only that, but also losing one of those healers will be the difference between your Queen staying up and going down. Sometimes, like in the first attack, you have the rages anyway, and beyond that point, the Queen's going to meet up with the kill squad or not take much damage. So think for the second criteria or criterion or whatever, think that the exception is going to be if the Queen doesn't need that healer after the fact. But if she does need all 4 of those healers to kind of finish off the attack, bring the 5th one so you have it as a sacrifice in case the Queen encounters the seeking air mine or the air defense or whatever. So hope that made sense. Let me know any questions you have in the comments. If you do have some, I'll be sure to check those out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Sectatron out.